Give me a minute and let's talk about Vovchansk and the aggregate plant. And so, anybody that's been watching the Kharkiv incursion by the Russians knows that about 4 months ago, it's been all summer. This high point here, this aggregate plant, was cut off from the main Russian force. It is now confirmed that all 400 of the Russian forces inside are no longer with us. All 400 of those men, rather than surrender, watched everyone around them unalive until the last few handful starved to death, is what we're being told. They barely survived with food and water and medicine and munitions drone dropped into the plant. This is what we're up against. Rather than surrender, these 400 men, to a man, starved to death or faced a violent, bloody end. Now, I take no joy in talking about this. The map has not been updated. You can see the map is from today, but it is yet to be updated. But the aggregate plant, we have word, is definitely in Ukrainian hands. In fact, the maps I've seen push the Russians back about 2.5 blocks. So it looks like that front may be collapsing since the Russians have now been pushed out of all the high points. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. The lesson here is we hear all the time. Everybody says, why aren't the Russian people in revolt? How much more of this can they take? They can take a lot, these people. This behavior is not the behavior of a rational actor. This is like the Japanese in World War II. Even the Azov steel plant guys, the Azov brigade at the steel plant in Mariupol, they didn't let themselves starve to death. They surrendered when it was obvious that they were cut off and couldn't make it, knowing that they were headed to a Russian POW camp. These guys were going to a Ukrainian one. These guys could have been swapped out in a prisoner exchange. But instead, they suffered and paid the price for Mother Russia. And there's millions more of these guys. This is what we are up against. This is why, like the Japanese in World War II, Russia must be dealt a real defeat. If anything else comes out of this, if they get 1 square centimeter of ground, they're going to think themselves masters of the universe. Still, they're not going to be forced out of the cognitive dissonance that they live in. This is why this fight goes on at such staggering losses for the Russians. They are fanatics. They don't believe they have any choice. They have been told from the cradle to the grave they live to serve Mother Russia. And the 400 men at the aggregate plant in Vovchansk, they demonstrated that. If this is the resolve of our enemies, and they are our enemies, make no mistake, then our resolve, we need to find it. We must find and persevere. We must have the courage of our convictions, the way the Ukrainians do. Because this fight up here in Vovchansk, this is a nightmare. This is a nightmare of urban warfare, and the Ukrainians just keep grinding the Russians away. And that is not easy. And the Ukrainians are getting ground down too. How much longer the Ukrainians can take it is a question to ask as well. It's a tough one, boy. But we could definitely be more helpful. We could be more helpful.